Hey guys, Secrets Beer here. Welcome to another episode of Feh Chat, a casual discussion video where I talk about ongoing events in Fire Emblem Heroes. And for this episode, I want to talk about the Wings of Fate banner, which just got its trailer released, and there's some pretty crazy units in this one. I also want to talk about Grand Conquests, some of my thoughts on the game mode. I want to just discuss some things I liked about it, some of the things I think could be changed for the better, and what I expect to see hopefully later on. And last, I just want to talk about some coming events because Golden Week is coming up very soon. It's a very important week for gacha games, and I'll be talking about some of the things that are ongoing and some things you should look out for in the next week or so. So the Wings of Fate banner has 3 new units. They are female Kana, Shigure, and Hinoka, and oh boy, this is a pretty crazy banner. We're getting another green dragon with Kana, and she's an infantry dragon this time instead of Mer being a flying dragon and Grima being a armored dragon. So she's joining Feh as our second green infantry dragon, and it's pretty crazy to think that green dragons only had 1 until a couple months ago, and now we have up to 4. Meanwhile, red dragons still only have the 2 tikis, so who knows what that means for the future. Maybe we'll see some red dragons later on. For Shigure, unfortunately for him, the blue flyer or the blue lance flyer category is pretty saturated with some very good units. Obviously, some units like Cordelia, Hinoka, Tana, a lot of people are going to be comparing him to them, and if he doesn't match up with them, probably a lot of people are going to write him off, which is unfortunate, but you know, you never know. The stats are not released yet as I'm making this video, so we have no idea how exactly, or how good exactly he'll end up being. Last, we have Hinoka, and oh boy, we got our first flying archer. Hinoka is showing up as a Kinshi Knight, and for those of you who didn't play Fire Emblem Fates, basically the Kinshi Knight is like a flying unit with a bow, and a lot of people are going to be mad that it's not Reina who is going to be the first Kinshi Knight in the game, but I don't know. I'm not making the decision. I think obviously Intelligent Systems feel like they need to have some popular characters on these banners, otherwise they feel like no one's going to pull for them. I don't know. I'm kind of happy that Hinoka got an alt, but I'm kind of disappointed that every single banner this year has pretty much had a existing character as an alt as the 3rd unit. I'm hoping it's just something they're testing out, they're seeing feedback from people, and maybe in the future banners we can avoid having continuous alts like these. Who knows? As for skills, we actually have a lot of inheritable new skills in this banner, and we're starting off with female Kana. She comes with the Water Breath Plus skill, which is going to be another inheritable breath weapon for dragon units. Basically, they get defense and resistance +4 when they get attacked, and of course it has the new adaptive damage effect. And this is pretty good, especially considering that she comes with Fierce Stance. So basically, if you attack Kana, she's going to be getting defense and resistance +4 and attack +6. And of course, more attack scales really well with Draconic Aura. And she comes with Gold Dragons, which I believe does mean Dragon Emblem is fully functional, meaning you have all 4 class Emblem team buffs for dragon units now. That's going to be pretty interesting. I don't exactly want to run into dragon teams that are stacking Gold Dragons or Ward Dragons, but who knows what the future of Arena is going to look like. For Shigure, he comes with the Harmonic Lance Plus, which is something I've been waiting for a very long time. This is basically a Wo Dao version of the Lance, and I'm super excited to hopefully give this to my Nephany, who comes with Wrath, and I'm really always wanted to try out the plus 20 damage when special triggers effects, and hopefully I get to finally test this out because I've only had one Nephany and I'm not going to sacrifice her for Wrath. I'm looking forward to that. He also comes with Noontime, and I don't know if that's some kind of joke considering Shigure is voiced by Matt Mercer, who also voices Mr. McCree in Overwatch. For his A skill, he comes with Darting Stance 3, which I believe is the first time this skill is appearing. So when you get attacked, you get +6 speed, which is pretty powerful honestly in my opinion. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be any major builds that abuse Darting Stance 3 since most units like to have speed for the player phase as well, so I don't know how good it'll be, but still, it doesn't sound like a bad skill in theory. He also comes with Ward Flyers, and if Shigure is the one that gets demoted in this group, then that's going to be really good, because even if Ward Flyers is still locked to a 5-star rarity, at least you have a chance to get him, because I believe currently the only other way to get Ward Flyers is locked to 5-star exclusivity. I know it's not the most popular class buff for Flyers, but you know, for those of you who want to run defensive flying teams, you really want Shigure to be the one that's getting demoted. Last, we have Hinoka, and I have to say I really love her artwork. I never was able to get the original Hinoka, so hopefully I can get this one. Her Kinshi sprite also looks really awesome. It's a very weird looking bird creature thing that I'm not really exactly sure what it is, but you know, it looks cool. Her bow is called the Warrior Princess, which is a very odd name. However, not only is it effective against flyers, it's effective against armored foes, so that's pretty interesting. That's the first bow effective against armored units, which is pretty darn crazy in my opinion. However, most armored units have really high defense, so Hinata is going to have to at least have a decent attack stat to even make use of it. It also grants +3 speed, so obviously it's going to be really good. I'm sure this version of Hinata is going to be pretty heavily shifted toward attack and speed, but we'll have to see. Lastly, it also grants attack +3 to allies within 2 spaces during combat, which is just drive attack 2. And if you're playing the Tempest Trials, we did just get a drive attack Sacred Seal, meaning you can stack that as her Sacred Seal slot if you really want. She comes with Luna, nothing special, very good. Her A skill is attack/speed bond 3, which sounds really darn good for her. A flying unit basically wants attack and speed all the time, and that is just a very good combination. And it goes really well with her next 2 skills. Her B skill is Flyer Formation 3, which allows Hinata herself to move the flyer allies within 2 spaces. And basically that means if for any flying ally within 2 spaces of Hinata, she can move to any tile adjacent to them, which gives her insane mobility. Plus she has 2 range, which gives her even more attack options, which is pretty darn crazy. And last we have her C skill, which is actually a new skill called Flyer Guidance 3. This is just guidance, except it only works for flyers. So flying allies within 2 spaces of Hinata can move adjacent to a tile next to her. So you see that with Flyer Formation and Flyer Guidance, Hinata can move anywhere next to her flying allies, and with Flyer Guidance, her allies can move next to her. So a whole bunch of mobility shenanigans with this kit. I do not want to face this Flyer Guidance skill in the arena. I can only imagine the amount of reposition shenanigans that their AI is going to abuse. It sounds really crazy. It's not honed flyers, however, mobility definitely counts for something in this game. And Flyer Guidance is going to be pretty good for any flying team. Pretty crazy. I can see this being a very scary team to face, especially if there's multiple range flying units. And oh boy, I'm really excited for Hinata. I'm pretty sure there's no chance she's going to be the one getting demoted. A very crazy bow, a pretty good base kit, and oh boy, I'm not sure how effective her bow will be against army units considering they always have pretty high defense stats, but we'll have to see how well she does. And I'm really looking forward, hopefully I can get her, and even if I don't get her, at least this time in the 3-star pool, I really hope I can pull some 3-star Kleins, so I can get that Deathblow fodder, because I really don't pull them a lot. Now I just want to give some of my thoughts about the Grand Conquests game mode. I thought the length of the event was actually pretty good, considering that each round or each major battle only lasted 2 days or 44 hours. It didn't mean that things dragged on for too long. I think it was great that each round updated every 2 hours, and I really liked how the individual scores actually updated like pretty much all the time. Like if you just backed out and went back in, the scores would update for each zone. I would really like that a lot. I really also like that there were 3 different battles, so 3 different 2-day battles, which is really good because it gave people a chance to hopefully, if you got a bad team, hopefully you got on a better team on the next round. I think ideally it's never gonna be like perfect. Like you're never gonna know what you're gonna get really. As for the whole thing about nothing really mattering until the end of the round, I feel like that's just sort of a flaw with these type of game mode ideas. I actually did play another game, if you've ever played or heard of For Honor, that actually has a very similar game mode to this. And yeah, it kind of doesn't feel like you're doing anything until the end of the round. But yeah, there's something I want to mention later on, and we'll get to that in a bit. Next, I just want to talk about the Rival Domains maps themselves, and overall I thought it was fine that we got to use them again. I still like using all my friends' units. It's really fun. One thing I didn't enjoy was I thought Inferno difficulty was absolutely not worth it to me, especially in terms of point scoring. Like most of the time I would just be getting pushed back by the AI and I wouldn't even be able to capture one of the other camps that they had. I thought Lunatic was a good balance point for me personally. Most of the time I would be able to push at least to the fortress of the enemy team, and even if I didn't capture it, it's still a lot of points. A lot of times I did actually just go with hard, especially if I didn't have a lot of time left in the round, because on hard I would always be able to guarantee I got the max score usually. I do think that is something to consider. Like Inferno difficulty, I there's absolutely no way like I could get to the fortress most of the times. It's just absolutely insane. And meanwhile, I would be able to just score more points doing hard. So I don't know. Another thing I did love about Rival Domains maps was that every single battlefield was a different map. I really liked that a lot. That was really good. It felt like, you know, if I wanted to play in one area, then I had to get used to the map layout, and that was actually a really good thing. I really enjoyed that a lot. One thing that was hit or miss to me personally was the area effects. I really didn't abuse them, I think, as much as I should have. I didn't really feel the need to, especially only doing Lunatic and Hard. Maybe for the Inferno difficulties, definitely would have to abuse those area effects, but really for me, most of the event, I pretty much just ignored them and just sent in whatever team that I liked using. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys thought about the area effects, or did you even care about them at all? Next, I want to talk about team size, and I swear I read officially somewhere that the team sizes were 200 players, but I can't really confirm that, especially when I went to go look for that. And if team sizes are 200 players, actually, to me, that it did not feel like that at all. Like, not even close. I think in the future, I would like to see less out realms and bigger team sizes to hopefully get more players playing at a time, because really, like, if you just looked at each area and you look at how many troops were there, that's one player. And even if I were to look at every single area, like, most of the time it was like, it felt like maybe like 40 to 50 people per team, but it definitely did not feel like 200 players at all, if that's what it actually was. I do think to get like more interesting rounds and more just interaction for each team, I think they should increase the team size. Another reason for bigger team sizes is the knockout mechanic, which I think was actually kind of a cool mechanic, but I've only saw it happen a few times on the rounds that I checked in on, and it honestly, to me, it just seemed like one person blowing all their Conquest Lances to get that knockout. Like, most of the time when I saw a knockout happen, it was not a very high troop count in the area, meaning it wasn't a lot of players for that team, but the score was astronomically high. So I don't know. I think 100,000 seems like 100,000 points needed to get the knockout is a little high. However, if it was lowered, then if someone plays at the start of the round and one team just quickly swarms an area, you could just assure a quick victory and it's over. Like, the other team doesn't even have a chance to combat against that. So I don't know, there's definitely a balancing point for that. I think the knockout threshold should be lowered a little, but not so much that just one team can get an instant win at the start of a round. Regarding the GC tiers and the reward system, I think it was okay. I know some people were disappointed that GC tiers didn't reset every single battle, so every 2 days, but I think the reason it was continuous was that they want people who don't play the game like every single hour of the day to be able to get all the rewards possible by the end of 6 days of the event, which I think is a good time frame. I think for the end of round rewards, so based the rewards you got for how many areas your team had, I think they should be tiered off so it's not as punishing for people with a bad team, because it feels pretty bad when your team's just getting absolutely destroyed. Like, you could be trying your best spending Conquest Lances, but if the rest of your team isn't doing anything or you have an inactive team, you basically screwed, honestly. And I think it should be tiered off so that, like, if you had 1 to 5 areas, you get 1 reward. If you had 6 to 10 areas, you get reward. 11 to 15, and then maybe 16 to 20 areas. And I think in between those different tiers, they should spread the rewards a little more evenly, because so I didn't experience a match where one team had like 25 areas and one team only had like 2 areas, but you know, people definitely ran into that. And even if you're on the losing team, like you're on the team that's getting absolutely destroyed, that feels really bad. I would like to see a shift to the reward system, because I think you would chase some people away because they felt like this is a dumb game mode. My team just got absolutely destroyed, even if they were trying their best. I don't know. Last, I sort of just want to talk about the sense of community that this game mode sort of had. And one thing I did like was that one person could make a very noticeable impact. Like, they could spend their Conquest Lances and get that 8 times boost, and you could definitely make a difference. I didn't like how disconnected this game mode sort of felt. So what I mean by that is, like, I can't join my friends to make an impact on a game. Like, we're just randomly assigned. It's basically impossible to coordinate any kind of plan with thousands of different outruns going on. Like, there's no way to be like, hey, we should attack here. But you know, you just have to hope that your team kind of knows what they're doing. If you played Voting Gauntlet, it's only 8 different teams, and as the teams get eliminated, it only becomes 2 different sides, and it does sort of feel like the community can sort of at least rally behind their teams. Like, it's definitely sort of just a fun atmosphere. in Grand Conquest, you could be like, hey guys, I captured this area, and you met with nothing. Like the game mode is supposed to be like you're all about your team working together to capture areas, but I felt zero connection to my team basically. I would hopefully in the future, I just want something to be like, you can like somehow vote among your team that we should attack for this area, or these areas are what we should vote on, or what we should concentrate on. I think that would be something a little more cool to, you know, to have somewhat of a more of a rallying feeling with my own team. I'm not expecting that, but I really hope they do something about that. So let's try to wrap this up quickly because I've talked way too long already. So basically, if you don't know what Golden Week is, in Japan, there is a certain week where a whole bunch of holidays just fall in a row. So basically, the country has the week off for the most part. A lot of people are traveling for vacations, and the Japanese gacha games want to cash in on everyone, having a good time, and hopefully get people to spend their money. Last year for Golden Week, we got the first Hero Fest banner, which had Ryoma, Azura, Takumi, and Hector, which was a really god tier banner. Who knows what we're going to get this time, considering Bravelyn and Ira already on a bait banner before this, and now we got Kinshi Knight Archer Hinoka, who I'm a little scared to find out what they're going to release on Golden Week. If there is one, there might not be. Nothing's been confirmed yet. Also, you want to consider that the Legendary Hero Summoning event is happening on May 1st, which will overlap with the Wings of Fate banner and probably will overlap with whatever banner comes during Golden Week if there is one. So if you want to save your orbs, I really would recommend holding on to them until at least the Legendary Summoning event to know who's on that one. There's going to be a lot of things going on. Tap Battle's coming back. Hopefully after 2 full Tap Battle events, they've made some changes. I really would like to see at least something different with the mode. And after all of this Golden Week celebration, there is another new Heroes banner starting on May 10th, which I'm pretty surprised. It feels like we've actually gone a decent amount of time without a seasonal banner, so who knows what's on that banner. It's actually really short, so I'm a little scared because it's only 10 days that it's going to be a really good banner with some really good units to force people to buy ours because there's not a lot of time. Also, just so happens on the same day that the next special orb promo starts, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but I'll make a bet that it's probably going to be something good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my ramblings about the Wings of Fate banner and the Grand Conquests game mode. For those of you who are new viewers, basically I want this type of video to be a discussion, so please leave your comments. Like, what do you think about the Wings of Fate banner? Did you like Grand Conquest? And are there any changes you have for improving the game mode? And also, any predictions for Golden Week, considering that we really don't know anything. Like, there could be anything that could go on in Golden Week, we really don't know. Also, I just want to say thank you for 10,000 subscribers. Definitely a huge milestone for this channel, and it's definitely been a wild ride. Definitely been pretty crazy. So thanks for watching these videos. I'll be continuing to put out the best content that I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.